Hey, we're doing a environment episode. Can I get a different background? Thanks!
Don't mention it.
Good morning! It's time to go green with a new themed episode of SwendooG. For our first story, I've got an update about the ozone. First off, global warming is real and the depletion of our ozone is what's causing it, okay? It's real. It's really real. And throughout the last 8 years, we've seen movement after movement to try and cut down on using the kind of greenhouse gases that deplete our ozone. Well, I'm happy to announce that for the first time in history, scientists have actual direct evidence that would suggest our ozone has started to heal itself. Using special satellites that help detect chemicals in the outer layers of our atmosphere, scientists have found a decrease of chlorine in the ozone. For those who don't know, the chlorine in our ozone layer is a lot of what makes it deplete as fast as it does. It means that we finally started to slow down on our inevitable death. And if you're paying attention, I did not say the ozone is healing itself, it has begun the healing process. Our ozone layer has not begun to come back in the amount that would prove that it's finally ready to heal, but the amount of chlorine that's keeping it from doing so is depleting, and that's what we know about for sure. Obviously, we've got a long way to go, but I believe we can get there, if only because we have to. Alright, planet Earth would like to welcome its first ever negative emissions plant to ever grace its soil. What does a negative emissions plant do? Well, I'm glad you asked. Using that mythical substance known as science! This negative emissions plant can actually turn CO2 into usable stone. Science is secretly just magic. It works by taking the air around it, sucking the CO2 out of it, which then reacts to a basaltic bedrock, forming solid carbonate minerals. In regular person speak, that means we can use the stone that comes out of the plant. The reason this is good news is not because this machine will fix all of our global warming problems. The reason it is good news is because we now know that technology like this can exist, and considering how fast technology like this can improve, well, I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually did get machines that can start really making a dent in our environmental problems. Despite this, I'm going to say no matter what we do, the only real way we can fix this is if we phase out all those outdated fossil fuels. I'm still relevant. You can now drink wine made out of food waste. Yes, that sounds disgusting, just hear me out. Tofu whey is a waste product from tofu that easily grows materials and is always discarded. This stuff pollutes water and can do terrible things to drinking sources. Well, Native Americans used every single part of the animal they killed, and scientists are ready to use every single part of the tofu we eat. Because now they've figured out a way to turn that tofu whey into wine. The process is lengthy, and storing the drink requires substantial resources, so there's no word yet on whether it's feasible to produce in large quantities. However, they are experimenting with different fruity flavors, with taste testers saying stuff like, "It's refreshing and tastes like sake." We had some technical difficulties, and I lost some footage, so I decided to move outside. I mean, this is the green episode after all. Also, I learned it's pronounced sake. The funny thing is, we're pretty much done, because that will do it. Thank you for joining me on this very special themed episode of SwendooG. Please share the video to pass around the positivity, and drink some food waste. And I will see you, same time, same place, we'll call it 2 weeks from now. First off, global warming is real and the ozone is what's called... First off, global warming is real and the ozone is what's... I'm doing this thing where I'm going to be like real-time talking to me in the future. It's going to be trippy as bro.
Yeah, okay, Barry.
Yeah, fine. You. With taste testers saying stuff like, "It's refreshing and tastes like sake." What's sake? Do you know what sake is?
Sake?
Oh, sake? Whoops. First off, we have our lovely sound editor and sound Lord of Sound, Josh Parker. He's got various sound stuff connected. And then we have our SwendooG mascot, Sleepy Brian, who helps with morale. He gives us college students what we wish we had by proxy.